This is Living Art Muse, and I'm just going over different things that I have painted, and one of them is sacred geometry. I've always kind of seen it, never paid too much attention to it until the day I wasn't necessarily in meditation. Sometimes I get these bold hypnotic states that I just kind of go in, I would call it, because I was having a normal day and I sat down for a minute and I went through it. And what it was it was royal blue, like a sky, or the space was royal blue with gold lines crisscrossing in a grid form. And I could be up above it and look at it. I could go down within it and underneath of it. And I was looking at these gold crossing lines, I would call it. And as I got out of it, I didn't know what it was. So I'm sketching and I'm trying to copy it of what I had seen, what I experienced. And I can never paint it. I can never sketch it exactly to what it is, because it's almost like perfect. It's almost like what's the word I want to use? Like angelic. But I called this the grid. And as I started looking into it more, looking at what I had sketched that day, trying to find things that matched with it, wondering, what is this? And that is when I stopped at sacred geometry. It creates a beehive. And these lines were doing that in gold. So I don't know much about sacred geometry. I knew that it was linked to it. But as I started painting these things that I saw, I had this epiphany of amazement, going, wait a minute, if you do this and this, it creates this. If you do this, it creates this. Now it creates this shape. And then you do this, and you do this, and then you do this. Then that led me to dig into sacred geometry more, and I giggled, because all of the shapes I started discovering as I started creating this was in sacred geometry. And like I said, I didn't know what it was. I was just there in that moment. I was above it, within it, and below it, looking in a sense of awe, wondering what it was. And you can call it sacred geometry, you can call it the Christ grid, but it was a grid working system. And then as I discovered all these other shapes that it made, there's a certain format that I had to create it in, otherwise it wouldn't ignite or come alive. And that was also one thing that I discovered. If I made it this way, it was flat. If I made it this way, it came up off the paper. So a lot of these different shapes, forms, things that I come to discover, there's a certain way of creating them to give them life. And there's a certain way of doing them, and they are flat and not alive.